Hello love, I'm Anjuli and today I wanted to show you how to create this frosty, icy princess winter makeup look. I did decide to go a little bit in a darker route because I'm a glam gothic kind of girl. I love the glamour, I love the deep dark tones. So I did take it in a darker direction. If you want a lighter direction though, let me know and I could create something that's a little bit lighter on the eye. But for now, this is what I've created. Listen, this look was a bit of a whirlwind. So I hope you enjoy this video and you'll also see what I'm talking about a little bit later in this video. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so hopefully our lighting today is pretty good. Hopefully y'all like this. I took some lights off of being I took some lights off from being directly on my face, so hopefully you'll be able to see the glitter that we will be playing with today. We're gonna get into a couple of different palettes. As I typically try to encourage, just use what you have. I'm sure that you have some sort of icy shade in your collection of palettes. That's what you want to use, okay? You don't necessarily have to copy the same exact color scheme if it's not readily available to you. But if you do want to use whatever I am using, I will, as always, have everything linked down below. And that is that. This is my first time using an eyeshadow primer, by the way. I know that's so rookie of me. I don't know how to feel about this because, to be honest, I think I'm still not quite sure that I'm using it right. How do you know if you're applying enough? My eyelids don't feel tacky. They kind of feel like maybe I put a velvety moisturizer onto them. So I'm not quite sure how you know that you're using a good primer. It is the Urban Decay one, and I know that is a popular one, but I'm not quite sure how to tell that it's the one for me yet. We shall see. So I'm going to be going into this Lime Kind Venus 3 palette, and the first thing I want to do is I want to put a bit of a base down because we really want these icy tones to pop on our eyes, which how do you make a light color pop? You got to put a dark to kind of contrast that, right? So I'm going to take a color, it's called Ecstasy, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it in my eye socket area and blend it out. We don't want any harsh lines at this point. That is not what we're striving for. We are just trying to get something down that will be a good contrast to our icy shade. And I do think that you want this shade to be a neutral to some degree. It could have a bit of an undertone, like this one kind of has a pinky undertone to it, but you do want to use a neutral shade. This is not where we're putting our color in just yet. And like I said, you want to blend, blend, blend. A lot of the reason why I don't have a base on right now is because I know with the shimmery shades, with the glitter, we are prone to getting some fallout. And I also want to be able to spend as much time blending as possible. I don't want to have to worry about ruining my canvas. So I'm focusing on my eyes, and then I will get down to my base when it gets to be that point. All right, now that I've got somewhat of a base on, I'm going to go into a slightly deeper yet still neutral shade so that I can deepen this crease a bit. Ooh, not that kind of brush. I guess you can go in, I'm gonna go in with, what is this? A small shader brush. I was like, SM shader, what does that mean? And I'm gonna go, this is gonna be a pretty deep color from the Glam, the Glam Gloss, the Dark Renaissance palette. I'm gonna go in with Van Gogh, and this you do want to be a little bit more precise with. We are going to put this into our socket, and for my eye shape, I'm gonna mostly focus this on the outer portion of my eye. And you still want to blend. We don't ever really want any harsh lines with our makeup unless that's the intent, unless we are intentionally trying to do something graphic. We don't really want to just have harsh lines, but you do want a lot of color, a lot of concentration to remain in the socket. And am I a makeup artist? No. I am just a girl who loves makeup, who has been a drag queen, been around drag queens for majority of my adult life. So that would be my qualifications. I'm sure somebody in the comments will know better, but this just works for me, and people compliment my makeup all the time, so I am just bestowing what I know to you. And it's gonna look crazy. Like, I look like I kind of have skeleton eyes right now, but it's fine. It's fine. It'll all work out in the end. Makeup is about the journey until you get to the destination, and then you can truly just bask in it. But you can't judge it as it's happening. You just can't judge it as it's happening. It's one of those things. You gotta let it be ugly before it gets beautiful. What eye is usually your best eye? This eye for me always works. Always looks good. This eye, she does some questionable things. And it makes me mad every time because I'm like, girl, there's absolutely no reason for you to just not be given the same. But she just usually doesn't. And she do be frustrating me. So now that I got this kind of like base layer on, it's time to go in with the colors. It's time to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to go into the Fatally Yours palette from the Melt Bailey Sarian collab, and I am going to go into the color Sarin, and this is going to be a lot of fun for me because this color, this pretty purple shade in here, I'm gonna use it to offset this like shimmery purpley, you'll see that I'm going to use as my lid, as my icy tone. So I'm actually going to go back where we were with that dark shade, and I'm going to put this over this and blend it in. And because I set that darker shade on, I can almost use less of this purple shade because it doesn't need to create depth because I already put that depth in with that one shade, with the last shade. So I'm going to do that. Just cover over that crease shade that I put in, but I'm also going to bring this in to my lid, only on the outer part. Once again, this really has to do with my eye shape. I do prefer for the outer portion of my eye to be deep in color and the inner portion of my eye to be quite light. And you do want to make sure that you are blending with this. You don't want any harsh purple lines with this. But another reason why I choose to layer my shadows this way is because it's almost foolproof. It allows me to make sure that I'm marking my colors, but I'm also not creating so big a mess. Like, I don't have to go back and try to clean this purple shade. And anybody that's worked with the purple shade knows that purple shades can sometimes be quite staining. They can also be a little bit messy, and they move around, and you're never quite sure if you got all the purple off of your face. But if I mess with like a deep blue toned or gray toned black, that is going to be a lot easier to clean up. It's going to be a lot easier to see what I'm messing with, see what I'm blending, make sure that if I don't want it on my face, it's going to be easier to see if it's still on my face. And it's just not going to stain as easily as this purple will. It's kind of like my training wheels way of creating depth in an eye. And then if need be, I can just go back in with that darker shade and just deepen things out. You'll see this is not very clean. What I'm doing right now does not look very clean, but it will all come together. Stick with me. Stick with me, please. And at this point, it is a blending game. So as you put one shade down, you'll just go back to the OG brush and just fluff out whatever needs to be fluffed out. Deepen what needs to be deepened. Right now, we're just trying to make everything look as perfect. Do you see how good this eye looks compared to this eye? Like, pain, okay? Pain. Okay, so I'm editing this video right now, and you can't see a difference. There is no difference. There is no difference. So first off, I was being harsher on myself than any other person would be. But also, I think genuinely my lighting, the way that I had my lighting set up, it just threw me off. I could not see myself as well as I'm used to seeing myself. So we will be going back to the old lighting setup, which you'll notice later on in this video. I did go back to my old lighting setup because I just could not handle doing my makeup in such dark conditions. Okay, back to the video. Okay, so now I am going to take a shimmery eye pencil from NYX. It's called Cottage Cheese. Disgusting, but that's what it's called. And I'm going to use this as the base for my shimmer because I really want that shimmer to just pop. Now notice how I am using this also to kind of set the guide for, I'm not doing a full cut crease, but I am doing, a little halfy. I'm going to set this up for that. And I'm also blending it slightly out into my darker shade because once again, we are avoiding harsh lines as much as possible, except for the intentional one, which is the cut crease one. And then I'm going to go in with this shimmery shade called Beam from the Lime Crime Venus 3 palette again. And I'm just going to press that onto this area. Randomly decided I'm going to use a brush because I think I'll be able to get a more precise press that way. And then we want to make sure that we are kind of fading that into the dark section. We're going to go back in to the dark colors, but, you know, set ourselves up for success by putting some of that shimmer into that section. I started to judge myself a little bit, so I almost contemplated not finishing the rest of this makeup look. I'm not gonna lie. It's not turning out the exact way that I intended, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll be fine. It does actually still look good. It will look even better when the rest of my face is done. But I did start to judge myself, okay? So I'm just going to keep it a buck and say that. For the sake of my sanity, I'm going to go and put my base on real quick, and then we will be right back. So a couple things have happened. I almost completely washed my face, and then I realized I like my makeup, just not in the lighting that I was doing my makeup in. So I have my lights back to where I usually have them because I just literally could not stand the way that I almost washed my whole face off. And I'm so ashamed to say that because, like, it's a good face. It actually looks good. My makeup looks good. It's just, I did not like the way it looked in the low lighting. And I didn't realize, I thought it was me. I thought I was the problem. It's the lights, okay? So we are back to the OG lights being back on me. We are back to filming. I have my base on right now, and I actually started to work a little bit on my eye because I was really trying to convince myself that this eye look was not bad, even though I really felt like it was bad. So, next thing that we are going to do, because once again, we are trying to create contrast against this purpley color that we have on our eye, we're going to add some black liner into our lower lash line. You can also put it on the top lash line. I'm going to be honest with you. I am not going to do that because that's just not the way that I want to do my makeup. But I'm going to put it all the way into my inner corner and outer corner of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to go back in to my purple shade that I used in my crease area here. I'm going to grab that onto like a smudger brush, and I'm going to drag that across my lower lash line. And any extra work we're going to have to do, we will get back into. It's just right now, I am just trying to finish up really placing all of the colors of my eye before I fine-tune everything. And then I'm going to take a fluffier brush and just kind of make sure that this isn't such a harsh line on my lower lash. And now I'm going to touch everything up and make it look the way that I want to. And then one last thing for me, I know not everybody is going to love this step, but for me, I'm going to take a highlight shade, a shimmery highlight shade. It's actually the highlight shade that I use on my whole face. Where's my brush for this? Here we go. Once again, everything will be down below. I'm going to take this and put it on my brow bone and also into my inner corner to make that area just pop. Then we're going to do mascara, lashes. Now I'm going to finish the rest of my base and I will be right back with the final look. Okay, I'm so glad I gave this another chance. I gave this like another chance because this is the final look. I did just do my hair. I just took a flat iron to it and bumped the ends and put some lashes on, put on, what lip mixture am I wearing? I am wearing Brownie Pie from Rimmel London as my lip liner. I am wearing on my lips is Skinny Dipping from Wet n Wild. It's a matte lipstick. And then I have this Captivate Me from Rimmel London. It's a gloss. It's on top. I've had this makeup on for a second, so hold on. And that just made it a little bit more pink instead of like a gray nude color. And yes, so I hope that this tutorial helps you out. As I mentioned in this video, you don't need the same exact products as I have, okay? To achieve this look, you just need to gain the idea, gain the theory, and then apply it in the way that works best for you. This shape may not work well for you, and that is fine. But if you take what I have said, you should be able to recreate something that works perfect for you. And until next time, bye.